Hi, everyone. My name's Kelly Bell, and this is a When She Leads interview, and we're really excited. Usually we do podcasts, but sometimes we take a break and we do an interview because it's for women leaders. We are looking for leaders outside, not just within the church walls, but on the outside and working in their community. And immediately, Irene, we thought of you, and so we wanted you all as listeners to meet Irene Bernheisel. Her last name is hard for me, but I think I got it right. Did I get that right?
Yes, you said it perfectly.
Oh, good. So Irene is the director of Camp Alandale, which does camps for kids within the foster system. And we just love Camp Alandale. We love what they do and what they're about. We love you and your husband. And so welcome to our recording. And so why don't you first tell us a little bit about just yourself before we jump into Camp Alandale?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. I am a listener of this podcast, so it's exciting to be on and share. Yeah, so like Kelly said, my name is Irene. I am a mother of four, and my husband and I run Camp Alandale, and we've been doing that for 8 years. A little bit about myself. I grew up in a family that is in the circus, and I came to the United States. Yeah, they are in the circus, the last 6 generations. So I broke that because I am not in the circus. And I grew up moving around all the time. My biological mother was married 11 times, and so I moved a lot due to that. And when I was 17, I became a Christian, and my life has never been the same since. Yeah.
Wow. So before we talk about how you got into Camp Alandale, why don't you explain a little bit what Camp Alandale does, your mission and
Yeah, so Camp Alandale, we are a nonprofit ministry for children in the foster care system. And our mission statement is we introduced abused children to the life-changing and healing realities of Jesus Christ and equip them to lead meaningful and productive lives.
And how long you guys been doing this?
So I started 14 years ago as a volunteer, and we've been directing for 8 years now.
Oh, wow. So what prompted you? I don't know if it was you're moving around so much and all that, but what prompted you to get involved and volunteer at Camp Alandale?
Yeah, so initially, I think I was 18 years old when I heard about it. And I was living with this couple at the time who were amazing to me, and they were actually donors to Camp Alandale. So they were helping me out in a really crucial time in my life. And when I heard about Camp Alandale, immediately I thought, like, whoa, I think I can relate to these children on what they've gone through, and I want to help in some way. And so, like, instantly the Lord just put that on my heart. But then right after that, I was instantly met with like, no, I'm not qualified enough. I can't do this. So I'm grateful I did it.
Yes. Did you start as a counselor?
I actually started as a junior counselor because I wasn't 21 yet.
Oh, gotcha. Why don't you explain a little bit about what your program does? So when you talk about as far as the different roles, they kind of understand what the camp does.
Yeah. So Camp Alandale, we run summer camps and winter camps, and we're a pretty small camp. So we try to keep our ratio 2 campers for every counselor that comes up to camp. And so my husband and I, we direct the camps. We're at every camp leading what to do, where to go, all of that. And then our counselors are all volunteers. So they are over the age of 21. And then we have our junior counselor program, and they are between the ages of 16 and 20. And they're really like the backbones of camp. They help with all the little cleaning projects. They're really close in age with some of the campers. So they are a very good example for them. They're like our little cheerleaders. So there's like different volunteers, but they each have a really important role in camp.
And where's your camp located?
We are located in Angeles Oaks, and we are actually currently in the process of buying a new property.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. So how do you get the youth? Where do they come from that come to your camp?
Yeah, they from social services. So we've been running since 1980, and so it's really been like word of mouth that social workers, foster parents, they send their kids to camp. And we used to write to different FFAs and different organizations to share about camp, but now we don't even send anything out because we have a wait list of like, I think last year it was close to 300 kids wanting to come to
Oh
Camp
my goodness.
Alandale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how do you, I don't know, like, is it first come, first serve? If they're campers before, do they get,
Like
like,
priority.
how do you just go down the list?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's first come, first serve. I don't do that part of
That part
camp,
of it.
but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So your husband is executive director and you're the director.
Mhm.
So what does your role entail?
Mhm. Yeah, so Tyler and I, my husband and I, we work together and we come up with the curriculum that we're going to use for our summer and winter programs. And we're leading all of the camps. And yeah, my role outside of camp, I do the processing. So if someone wants to come volunteer at camp, I'm the one who interviews them, runs their background checks, calls their references, all of that to make sure they're a
Mhm.
safe person to be at
Mhm.
camp. And yeah, and in ministry, there's many hats that we wear. So like Tyler's also the camp bus driver. So when when all the counselors come to camp and we're getting ready, he goes down on our big blue bus and picks up the kids and brings them back. And so yeah,
Oh,
there's a
wow.
lot of miscellaneous things.
Yeah, he's so funny. I bet he's the camp clown or the,
Yes,
I don't know,
yes.
joker.
Yeah, he gets to be pretty silly on the bus. He's safe, obviously, but he gets to be silly. So
I did at camp.
yeah,
He's just funny. He's just a funny
he
guy.
is.
So how did you, um, is this like once you started volunteering, I guess, how did you get to become director and executive director? Is this a dream that you always had? Is it, uh, I don't know, did the Lord take you by surprise by putting you there? Or is this something that you were like passionate for and striving for? Or how did this happen?
That's a good question. So I initially came and I fell in love with the ministry and the kids. I really, really loved the kids. And I just thought, this is like the summer thing I'm doing in my life. I never had like a 5-year plan. I didn't even have a 1-year plan. I was just taking each day as it comes.
Yeah.
And so I would do Camp Alandale and then I would work and I would do missions overseas and then I'd come back to camp. So I kind of was in that routine and I ended up getting married and I had my son. And at the time, Tyler and I were living in Santa Cruz. And
Hmm.
for the first time in my life was like kind of easy. We were living by the beach and things were going pretty well. But I just felt this huge longing and desire. We both did that we were really missing something. And I felt like my life, everything I was doing was just for myself. And I mean, I had a son too, but I was like, oh, I want to do something more. Like I spent the last bit of my adulthood doing missions and all this stuff and I'm not doing anything and we both felt like really empty in that. And so we just kind of started to pray about it. We weren't looking, we just we weren't doing anything, just kind of praying. And then we heard about the position of the camp director opening at Camp Alandale. And
Been there before? Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but was he familiar with Camp Allendale at that point?
yes, Tyler was. So we actually met at Camp Allendale one summer. We were
Oh,
both on summer staff.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
we weren't trying to date. It was that period of like your life when you're like, okay, Lord, I'm not dating anyone. I'm focusing on ministry, and that's
Gotcha.
when I met him. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay, go ahead.
so,
That was cute. That's a cute part,
yeah,
though. Anyways, go on.
yeah. So we were up in Santa Cruz, and when we heard about the position opening up, I know we just immediately were like, yes, like why would I not do this? It wasn't
Mm.
something I had to mull over or I felt really conflicted. We both were like, yeah, I'll go today. Um,
Oh,
and
wow.
so, yeah, I mean, we obviously did pray about it, and we talked with the leaders who were directing at the time, and we interviewed with them, and they came up and yeah, interviewed us, and then we got the job. So then we moved down to Idlewild at the time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? How long you been there?
So that was in 2017.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
So, what are some of the Well, first of all, how do you balance? Because now you have 4 kids. You had one at the time, and you just had a baby. How old is your
My
baby?
baby is 4 months old. So I have
4 months
3 boys and
old.
I just had a little girl, which is really special. Yeah.
She is the sweetest
Yeah.
thing ever.
Thank you.
Pictures are so awesome of her. So, how do you balance being the director of a camp, 4 kids,
Mhm.
all of it, all the things?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I have felt very unbalanced for many years. So,
Oh,
yeah, and I think just being so unbalanced and trying to figure everything out, I realized like, okay, I've got to schedule things. I've got to make this work because I want to be a really good mother and I want to do really well at my role at camp. And I kind of feel like a mother to a lot of these kids. And so I think for balancing them, I have a couple of things I wrote down, but one of them I wrote is to involve your kids when possible. And for me, my kids do come up to camp with us, and so they get to see the ministry. Yeah, and like my oldest, he does the whole program with the kids. They eat with them, play
oh,
games with them, and I think I know that's really
I know that's really
meaningful, and they understand what we do. Obviously, that's hard at times because my mothering is like on display for everyone to see all the
good.
tantrums,
But that's
everything.
what a great example for all the kids who are there who obviously most likely did not
Mhm.
have those role models. And so what a great thing that is for them to watch you and how to be a family.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, and I knew that was special about camp coming on, but I didn't realize just how important that was and how much it impacts the kids. And they've come up and asked Tyler and I to be their camp mom and dad. Um,
Aw.
they've made remarks like, I cannot believe like you guys don't cuss. Like, why don't you cuss? Why don't you hit your kids? We had this little boy who asked Tyler, he was like, hey, so you don't like hit your wife? He was like, no, I don't. And he's like, really? Like,
And he's
he's
serious.
dead serious. Yeah. And so
Wow. And
I'm really grateful to be an example. Obviously, I like am not perfect, but I take that really seriously that we get to be a healthy example because oftentimes their normal is not a healthy
not,
normal.
yeah.
So,
Wow.
and a couple of other things with balancing, I wrote
Mhm.
trying to let go of perfection. That's not always
There you go.
easy for
That's a
me.
hard yeah.
Yeah, because I want to do everything
I wanted
right
everything
all
right.
the time, but we're human.
Yeah.
Let's see, building a support system that is so huge. I think just having just a couple of core people that you can really trust and who pray for you and are there for you and just being able to build that village is like essential because at one point I didn't have that and I definitely felt the gap of that. Um, and then my last
And
one
then
is learning how to set healthy boundaries, which I'm still learning.
yeah. In all areas.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like within ministry, I'm the type of person I'm like, yes, I just want to be 110% and I can let everyone in. Like I have an open door policy at my house. Like I just, I just want to be
You know, I
all
just wanted
in. And then I realized, like, oh, some people will take advantage of that. And learning that I can't give people access to everything. Not everyone is going to respect what you give. And so I've had to kind of learn that the hard way, which is hard for me because I want everything to be like hunky dory all the time. So that's
yeah.
that's something the last year I've really like focused on and how to be very kind and firm and yeah, just setting up good boundaries, especially for my children as well.
Good for you.
Um,
Good. Well, what are some of the biggest challenges, I guess, that you face as a woman in leadership
mm,
there? What are some of the biggest challenges? Maybe that, as far as the balancing, maybe that's one of them.
yeah, the biggest challenges, I would say sometimes people's expectations of me, they're not like communicated, but I found out after the fact, like, oh, you expected me to be like this in your life all year long, and I didn't know that. And so I think maybe unmet expectations. I think being a woman in leadership can be sort of challenging sometimes when I've seen like if Tyler gives like, hey, we're going to go do this, a command or a direction, and people are very
Mhm.
apt to respond to him. And I've seen it when I've tried to lead people at times, and it's like, oh, it's like I'm making a suggestion, not telling someone what
Yeah.
to do. And I think just being like small, and I have a really girly voice, like I'm not a very authoritative person. And I like to ask people to do something. I'm not someone who's like, you're doing this, you know.
Mhm.
So I've had to learn how to be more of an authority. And
Mhm.
yeah, that was hard for me, but it's good that I grew in that area. And so I would say, yeah, those were tricky things. Yeah, and again, like having my kids on display, my parenting on display for anyone to say anything about. And most people are really wonderful, Kelly, but it stinks. It's like those very few negative people that can stick out to you. And
Yeah,
so,
that's amazing. So can you keep relationships through the year with the kids that you have? Are you allowed to have interaction, you and Tyler?
yeah, we do. So we make sure to connect with their foster parent and
Uh-huh.
get the approval. And yeah, there's been many kids throughout the years where we love to take them out to eat, celebrate their birthdays with them. We've taken quite a few kids to church, and so as often as we can, we love when that we can do that outside of camp and even beyond the campers, different counselors involved or junior counselors. Like we got a call 2 weeks ago and someone was really going through something and they were like crying and we just said, come on over, and they spent the day with us. And so yeah, I'm
Mm,
grateful to have that because I don't want it to just be at camp. And we let the
yeah,
kids know at the end of every single camp if they need resources or help finding a church, a mentor, if they need a ride to get to somewhere, if they need
yeah.
help building a resume, whatever it is, like they can reach out to us, and we are very happy to help in that way. And even though we're
That's,
their camp directors, it's like we want to be able to be more than that. We're not just that.
that's so great.
Mhm.
That's so great too that I wasn't thinking about all the influence that you have as well with the junior counselors and the counselors and the staff. I mean, it's far reaching. Are they local kids? Local to we're Riverside County, so
Mm-hmm. Some are local, so the kids come from Riverside and Orange County, and so it's yeah between here and OC that the kids come from.
gotcha.
Um,
That's amazing. So, what was your, I don't know, what was the best advice you've ever been given, I would say, as a woman in leadership
mm,
in ministry?
yeah, so coming into this, I wasn't really given any advice, and I went in like just thinking
Yeah,
everything's gonna be fun. I'm gonna work at a camp, and I love Jesus, and I love these kids, but
yeah,
over the time, I have really needed advice and help. And so, yeah, just listening, honestly, like reading different books on leadership. I love this podcast. Different
mm,
podcasts about leadership has really helped me a lot. Um, so yeah, that's what I would say is
because
learning from people.
you're definitely in a niche kind of leadership, you know.
Yes.
I wonder if they have specific ministry for camp directors, like guidebook.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, and I've thought that too. I'm like, I wish at the beginning I was like, I wish I had like a blueprint. And in
Yeah,
many ways, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm able to create one for the next people that come along. And yeah, because it
that,
is a very niche kind of ministry.
yeah. Such an amazing, you guys do such great work. Are you allowed to share any, I don't know, one significant story of a life-changing moment in a kid, or does one come to your mind?
Oh gosh. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of good stories. Hmm,
Yeah.
Let's see. I this happened to Tyler, but when we met on summer staff, we each had a like two campers each, and during that week, his camper got really, really close to him. And he told him, so camp starts on Monday and it was a Thursday. He told Tyler, like, you are the closest thing I've ever had to a father. And
Mm.
at that time, Tyler's 21 years old, and he's like, dang, that's like awesome. Like
Yeah.
I'm like a father to him. And then of course, when you have your own kids, you realize just the depth of those words and how much they mean to you. And so um, we realized like this isn't just like, oh, fun summer camp. Like it's so much more than that, because in these kids' lives, when everything is moving, it's very turbulent, and the abuse that they go through, all the hard things, and not having the people who are supposed to care and love for them be there for them, that year after year they get to come back to camp. And so they start coming in the fourth grade all the way till they graduate high school, and
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and they see, the familiar faces and the familiar property, and all the things we do at camp. And so it becomes like a point of stability for them. And um, unfortunately, like a lot of stories do blend together, because
Yeah.
at nighttime, the kids get the opportunity to come share their testimony with everyone. And nearly every kid wants to share their story, which is really special to hear. But yeah, nearly all of them have experienced some sort of abuse, and have lived in cars and not had food to eat. And um, I mean, there's this one girl, she watched her dad shoot her mom in the face and die. Like they have been through like horrific things.
Oh my God.
And so I'm so grateful they land at camp, because I'm like, you're in
Yeah.
a safe place, and you get to know about Jesus.
And
So that was a question. You get to share the gospel, right? There's no
oh,
limitations.
yeah, not at all. So I am so grateful to do that. And because we're 100% donor funded,
Hmm.
we are able to talk about the gospel. And every day we have Bible studies. The kids, they get their special one-on-one time with their counselors. And yeah, it's really neat, because a lot of them haven't been introduced to the gospel. They don't know who Jesus is, or they hear like they have ideas of who God is based on, things they see on the internet. And so we get to, be like, no, this is who Jesus is. Let's open up our Bibles. And we do Bible skits. And the counselors are really good at, like, if someone is really interested in creation, we're like, hey, let's like go to Genesis and read through, let's start reading through Genesis this week. And so I'm really grateful to do that.
Do you have to get permission from the foster parent to be able to do that, or they fully know what's going to happen when they go?
Yeah,
Is that like,
so they totally know what camp is about. And yeah, we're not we're very like vocal about, we are a Christian camp, and that's in our mission statement too. We introduce Jesus to them. And it's actually been really neat on our side of things to hear social workers call Tyler and I, and they'll be like, hey, like what happened like this week with this kid? Like he left, he was so angry, he's like cussing, like picking fights in the group home, and he came back and he's like really like thankful, and he's nice and listening. Like, what did you guys do? And I'm like, well, we're not like behavior modification. We're like, we just, we introduced Jesus to them.
yeah.
We're there for them. We love them, all of that.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. That's so neat, Irene. So, what advice would you give? Let's take it down that road
Ooh.
to a woman who feels called to something, has a dream, however you want to put it, and they just don't know what steps to take to get there, or, I don't know. What's your best advice
Mm.
to?
Yeah, for me, I just tell myself, and I think Elizabeth Elliot says it a lot, is just do the next thing. And so, like, if I'm not doing anything, I'm still doing something. And so, whatever move I make in the direction I want, like, whatever I want to attain, I think that's like the best advice I can get. I hear myself often tell people that too, like the Nike slogan, just do it, just do something.
Yeah,
So, if you're interested in getting involved with foster care, there's so many
yeah,
organizations who care for foster children. If you know a social worker, like just start by asking questions, looking at videos. Um, yeah, I feel like we just are in a world full of resources. And yeah, and even if you're afraid, like step out and encourage, like just try. And I feel like there's a lot of things in my life where I was really afraid to do. And I'm so grateful I was able to just be teeny bit brave, even if it's like a couple seconds of bravery. So I'm like, wow, it led me to the next step, and things don't happen overnight, but little by little, you start moving towards that goal, which is exciting.
Can you see how God prepared you over the years for this, as far as I mean, I guess the circus and all the stuff? I love your story, but I mean, when you look back, can you see, I don't know, God's planning, how strategically he was moving you in this way, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Like 100%. I've really seen how all of the really challenging things that happened to me growing up, that I feel like I've had a lot of healing being able to pour into these kids. And my story isn't their story, but I do have an understanding of what it's like to not have a healthy home or parents who care about you, and being able to like give back in that way, or give encouragement, and to remind them often, like, okay, first step, you really need Jesus. But yeah, God has totally used that in my life. Like, it wasn't for nothing, and I feel so grateful to be
That's
able to
great.
be like a mother in a way to these kids when I didn't have that myself. And I've thought too, like, even if we didn't have something, we can still give something.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. Well, any last thoughts you want to share
Mm,
about camp, about you and Tyler?
Well, I'm grateful to do what we do. It's really such a blessing to pour into these kids. And yeah, we're always looking for Christians who care for these kids to come and volunteer. I would.
So how would they do that? If someone's listening goes, hey, I want to try that. How do they reach you or get
Yeah,
involved?
so on our website, campalandale.org, and there you can find information on the different volunteer positions. And once you fill out an application, then I'll contact you, and then we go from there. We're a really small ministry, so it's literally Tyler or I that will
Yeah.
talk to you. So yeah.
Yeah. And ages. What ages can do it?
Yeah, so for junior counseling, it's 16 to 20. For counselors, it's 21 plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there other things to do besides be counselors if they wanted to help in summer or winter camp?
Yeah, so we also have work days, and we have that once a month, and that it could be one person, it could be a group of people. They can come up to the camp property and help with different work projects around the property, because we always need help, and I mean
Yeah.
always. So,
Always.
yeah.
And there's all the list of how to do that, or the dates on your website as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Irene, thank you for opening yourself up and telling us about you, your family, and your ministry. And if anyone wants to get involved in a great way with kids, Camp Alandale is amazing. We have sent quite a few junior counselors and counselors
Yes.
from church to Camp Alandale to work, and they come back changed themselves. It's not just what's going on in the foster kids. The people who go to serve there are really transformed as well, and it feels like they always want to keep going back, like they're hooked. So that's amazing. So thank you, Irene, for being here. Thank you, listeners, for listening today. And I pray that it was helpful. I pray it was encouraging, educational. And I just pray that, I don't know, that God would show you if foster care, working with abused kids, is a path that you would like to be involved in a way to help. And if you just really want to serve in ministry and just not sure where to go, I just pray that God, like Irene said, will take you just one step at a time. He uses everything in our lives, every experience, everything that we do. And so I love what you said, just a little bit of bravery and just say yes to the Lord, whatever he's calling you to do. So thanks again, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.